Bing, 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 bing. Here we are. This is the Kent Beck Scrum. It's a Tuesday. Sam and Michael and Adrian in the house. I think Michael's starting to feel a bit under the weather, so I won't put him on the spot. Michael and I, and with also some input from Nick, been working on website 1 for the last couple of hours. Before that, we were working on website 2. We've, I think, pushed live sort of a soft release for the static website. Trying to get some feedback from the rest of the community on that. That's in the AV Community Talk channel on Slack. Since then, we've been addressing in website 1, there was some ambiguity about how time zones are displayed on the event page, and we've added a little function to show a bit more information about time zones, which I think will be an improvement if it gets deployed. And we were kind of using that as an excuse to start looking at refactoring some of our JavaScript. We've certainly raised a lot of issues. How much progress we've made, that's another question. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Yeah. And Adrian, I guess you've just joined the Agile development using Ruby on Rails, and maybe following along with a course, and I guess that you maybe just sort of popped in, you saw the link to the Scrum, and you're wondering what's going on. But so basically, these scrums that we run a couple of times a day, for people to hang out and potentially meet up with peer partners and coordinate on the projects for Agile Ventures. Not required for the MOOC course at the moment, but everybody welcome, just to kind of come in and see what we do. Yeah, Michael, anything to add to my report?
No.
No. Well, and if Adrian hasn't got anything to add, we can call that a very quick scrum, and we can just quickly get back to what we were doing before, which is after some debate about different approaches to the JavaScript in our Rails project, I advisedly or inadvisedly just started, introducing some different JavaScript objects and pulling things about a bit to try and make the code a bit more readable. I'm kind of pleased, Michael, with this part of the code here. Like this seems to describe the intent reasonably well. So then we have, and I guess what should probably then happen really is that the show event and the edit event form should be moved into their own files, really. And I guess since we have the required tree in place at the moment, that those things would all end up in their own separate files, and we could consider them separately. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like if we then end up with, this file would just be this. That would be, quite reasonable by itself, wouldn't it? I guess the danger is that I've now made so many changes throughout here that I've ended up breaking. I'm not even sure if I can use. Actually, I have seen that in some of the other JavaScript things about the way there's like it defines a method and then they're called afterwards. What did we have? Some of the other ones. Documents, event date picker. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah, it uses. Okay. But this one, yeah, var event, it just refers to it using this. So the implication is that we could do that. I guess before I went off splitting this all up into separate files, it might be sensible to run some tests, although because the tests rely on the stubbing, I was kind of looking at here and thinking, oh, TZ utilities, should we be passing in the time zone here? I almost wonder if, could that be I don't know, would it be really evil to do things like, you'd have like time zone as a, would it have to be a could you call it immediately, or would it have to be a function like this, and then stick that in there, it has to be return, and then we would have this time zone. And actually, hmm. Well, there's lots of things to go wrong. I guess that the stubbing that we've got to the actually the stubbing is still taking place at this level, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that would still, I guess, if we look at this spec here, we're calling handle user time zone, and handle user time zone is now on edit event form. So the implicit simple change there would be to do this, right?
Uh-huh.
And we could just see if the Jasmine tests. I would be so surprised if they passed. So then this sort of becomes a test of the edit event form. 3 failures. Can't find variable time. And is that line 23? Okay, so it's going in there. Line 38 in here. Have I referred to the it's going to 38, 42. Okay. So it's start time there. Why did I buy my children a piano? You probably can't hear that in the background. No. Okay. So that alleges that that's working.
Uh-huh.
So we could try the Qs. That's like a redundant thing. And I guess, I mean, I'll try not to dive into it because I haven't got so much time left. There's very, like, having decoupled this from the DOM objects, this could be extracted into some sort of formatting separate thing, couldn't it? Even being pulled into the time zone utilities.
Uh-huh.
Some kind of failure there. What value is that's going to be? It's just going to call that. It's going to come in through there. That's the local time. Time ID. Oh, right. For the Qs, have I changed? No, the thing that we're stubbing has not changed. So, can't find variable, show user time. Did we sort of? That's weird. Like a lot of other things are failing that weren't failing before. Oh no, 26 scenario outline show event feature 26. Huh. Show event feature 26. Oh, no, it is there. That's the Europe London thing. So JavaScript. Okay. So that's those two. Can't find. Miss Adrian said, but I let you work as you said. I was trying. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. Can't find variable show user time. At undefined one, event steps RB234. Was there something? We're calling that, and it's now inside it. Yeah. Okay. So there's a step definition. Come here, step definitions. Event steps. Event steps. Okay, so this now, the show user time zone. Right, and handle user time zone. So they have to correspond to, can I just drag that over here? That's the wrong thing. Drag that one over here. They now need to correspond to edit event form. And then show event. Okay. But so have I gone in sort of the direction that you were suggesting, or have I kind of like totally misunderstood and kind of just done something evil?
And I guess. Huh. It seems like you've built more of a domain object than a utility object.
Okay. I'm just dealing with somebody having restarted our Scrum.
You might have like the edit event form, for instance. Now use edit event form manipulator.
Oh, okay. Right.
Which
Yeah.
would do more with the DOM itself.
Mm-hmm. But for what this is doing here, do you think this would be better off called the manipulator than just edit?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that you have another object called the manipulator.
Okay.
That deals with the specifics of the DOM.
Okay. Yeah. This object currently. Yeah, so there's further steps. Is that now green? It is green. So so that's interesting. I mean, that code is then working, and what is this one is? We've got that sort of associated with there. So if we were then to split that up, and we then end up having, so the trees being required, we've kind of got, I mean, almost there.
So the shooter considered Disney World.
Right. So.
So all that they talk about it in the news.
Yeah. I mean, it's awful. I don't know. But there are always awful things going on. So it seems like see, here we have something that's quite specific to the the event edit form. So we've got all of these specifics related to that. At least all of this stuff is related very specifically to the event edit form.
Yeah.
I think that the checks in here sort of are not very intention revealing, but that maybe that's something we can leave for another time. And also this issue of maybe we should be loading the JavaScript specific to particular pages. We then have kind of, we can create here like a show event.js. I mean, maybe this is all terribly inappropriate, and what we really should be doing is moving towards the React framework. And then we have TZ utilities, which seems to reasonably exist in its own time zone utilities by itself. I kind of really want to call it time zone utilities. And so, yeah, I think TZ's not a descriptive enough acronym. I mean, we know what it means, but so now we have, I mean, this ends up being, so this file actually ends up being, I mean, really this could be moved into events.js, couldn't it?
Right.
It would make more sense here. We've got a couple of other things here, so we could pull these into this. So now we have that in a consistent state. So I feel like this file could be deleted.
Why did I get an email?
Did you get an email from you? I might have forwarded something to you related to something, but not like just like, what does it say?
Forward, welcome to agileventures.org.
Oh, you were asking about the broken links in the. So I just forwarded you an example so you could see the broken links.
Right.
Okay. So then in here, there, and then I just need to look at the Jasmine. But so then if we come in here, so this is now really, this is a test of the edit event form JavaScript. So it would seem to make more sense there that this should be renamed. Refactor rename. This is now edit event form spec.js refactor. That's done. Okay. But so that sort of, it implies that we would have a separate kind of test of this other, I guess both of these objects are interacting with DOM elements. And so, you know, fair enough. And then, and we could have like a unit test of this. It's funny. So one of the things DHH was saying is like it's coding is more of an art form than a science, and it's more like you're drafting something for readability. Although there's this particular trade-off between this is nice to the extent that it isolates us from we this dependency on a third party is pulled behind this, but it means I guess that when you're trying to interpret, do we use that in here? We use that here. I guess at the least we can be reasonably pleased with, like, I think even if you don't know what that's doing under the hood, like you don't know like that it's using Moment or JSTV or TZ or whatever, like you can kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
you've got a fighting chance of working out what that's supposed to do. These ones not so much, but that could be improved, and we don't have to improve everything in every step.
Sure you do.
Mm-hmm. And I think, I say maybe there's another level of refactoring where we kind of extract and manipulate it from there. But so we've got, I mean, there's, it makes sense that we should be trying to, model our domain here, right?
Yeah. Kind of. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to the extent now that we can say that, I think from another person who's using the Rails asset pipeline would say, okay, yeah, right, we're going to have, we would expect to find all the things that happen for the events pages in here. And then, okay, so like, there's a couple of entities. Okay, and I'm going to be able to, I'm finding them in this thing related to events. I mean, I can sort of see a pathway now from this, like, where we could say, okay, like the process of like dealing with all of that, that we might want the React thing makes sense because this is kind of encapsulating the template. I mean, I guess it's another step though, because if we, to the extent that's pulled in there, that would the implication be that in, for example, the form more than the show, that we would start to lose? Would we stop using these Rails tags to generate these things? That we would just have like a div class form group event, and then it would be entirely up to our React element to define what was going to go into the template?
You can do it that way, yeah. Or I think that gem might support putting JSX in your views. I don't know.
Right. I think it certainly seems to suggest something like that. It's got like you can get this React component thing.
Yeah, there's these helpers.
Yeah.
Right, which just render when you name your React component and put it in a certain place.
Yeah.
It'll render that in.
I mean I mean
go on.
I mean the advantage of the the form tags and everything is, suppose at least that you're getting your object parameters in the form set up so that when you post it, that you get the right thing. Although of course it's kind of horribly mangled. the way it's set up in this event view, but that's another story. Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. We got a little expected got, and that's it. Edit past event feature. So the formatting has changed slightly. That's weird. Why would that be different?
Very people still in the hospital.
Bloody hell. This is an American citizen?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But Trump said it's reason to stop letting Muslims in.
I knew he'd have something really sensible to say.
Because he said that the only reason this guy was here is that at some point in the past we let his family in.
Right. Good grief.
So it was a...
That's clearly the problem. Interesting. So...
Well, he had said that last fall, I think.
Yeah.
When he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to that now, and he's congratulating himself.
Good grief.
For his, he's calling it his foresight.
Goodness me. Expected 9, got 9 a.m. Event steps 188. Interesting. I'm slightly surprised by this change here. I'm always confused. Expected, but got. I'm always confused. I guess I assume expected here. We expected 9. We found a 9, and it's to equal the start time, which it's got from it previously. So that seems like it's kind of, on one occasion, the value was is the simple thing to just, can I just say match there and it'll do a regular expression?
Stand with you and are thinking about you and are praying for you.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Fix it.
The stern, unstable young man who became radicalized. As we know all too well, terrorist groups like ISIL have called on and here in the United States to attack innocent civilians, their propaganda.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, while through the course of my news fast, I mean, I think there's been other incidents like this. I mean, it's sort of, I mean, I'm sort of aware of ISIS and the whole thing all kind of grinding along in the background. No.
When are you going to end your news fast?
I don't know. I'm kind of, I mean, I think the danger is that you know, I may just continue indefinitely, because I think that the problem is that, you know, on any given day in the world, you know, positive things happen and negative things happen, and what I'm concerned is that just that the news tends to focus almost exclusively on the negative things, and it just leads to a like really negative mindset that's not very healthy. But Anyway, so I pushed that up.
Horseman had prevented many attacks and saved
I'm kind of
by the also by the fact that
confused
extraordinary hard work.
about whether that's a movement in the right direction. There's lots of notes.
Today, Director Comey updated us on the investigation. Secretary John reviewed the measures we continue to take. Security. Secretary
Anyhow, so I mean, one of the things Nick seems like an interesting guy. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking conceivably if I went off to have this meeting with Rachel tomorrow, that maybe you and he might actually pair on some JavaScript stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
You're gonna be gone tomorrow.
well, I'm gonna be like this. There's this meeting. It's like at what time do we start today? Is your time? It's like 8 a.m. So like I think there would be like a meeting between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So I wouldn't be like gone completely, but it would be like a little chunk out in the middle.
Right.
So we could plan to start at the usual time, and if then Nick was there, you could maybe loop him in and see how that goes. I mean, he may not be around tomorrow, and you may feel, if you feel worse tomorrow and you just need to rest, then that's no trouble.
Yeah. I might take Friday off too.
Okay.
Might not be around on Friday.
Sure. Did you have any interest in working through the Sinatra hang person assignment from the course? No, sure. You never did that. Well, it's just something that I kind of need to do this week as part of the MOOC.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Have you done anything with Sinatra before?
A little bit. It's pretty simple.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think the main challenge in some ways is getting your head around in that assignment is getting your head around the way in which Armando has coded hang person. But that's another story. And I kind of need to do that in order to assess the what some people are. I guess I don't have to do it, but I'm trying to kind of like work through all of the assignments in their current form, or check that they work in Ruby 2.3. I should be checking them against the autograder and so on. Although, of course, as usual, lots of my time has ended up being is sunk into like dealing with video editing and what's the word for it? Transcripts and so on.
Right.
Anyway. I think it's probably time to wrap up for the day for me. I guess I'll see you tomorrow, unless you let me know that you're further under the weather. I hope you feel better soon.
All right, thanks.
Cool. Take care, man. Bye for now.
Yeah.